Hello, magical soul, and welcome to the Awake Revolution podcast. I'm Marie Fleming Grant, and in this podcast, I'm going to be sharing insights, perspectives, stories, and tips guiding you to drop the baggage, wake up the real you, and revolutionize it all: how you think, how you feel, and how you create, so that you can be all of who you came here to be.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. So, a big welcome if you are a previous listener to my podcast, because you would have noticed that I have not been podcasting for the last 5 months. So, very big welcome back to you if you are a returning listener, and welcome if you are a brand new listener. So, in today's episode, I am so excited to share what the hell has been going on over the last 5 months, and to really just give you some crazy, incredible, huge insights as to where my mission has taken me, the plot twists that I've experienced yet again, linking this back to you and your own mission, and also what is going on this planet that has come to my attention in the most impactful way, and also ties together, as it often does, right? Ties together some of my previous experiences from years ago that now are making much, much more sense. So I'm excited to dive in, and I'm just going to just talk through, I guess, where to start, because April, as I'm recording this, we're the end of April 2024. April has been the most incredibly transformational plot twist month. And I know there's a lot going on with the astrology and just things in general. So you may also have felt that this month is a very profound month for you, which, however you're feeling right now. So, where to start then? Let me see. So, for those of you who don't know, and even if those of you have been tuning in and following me for a little while, so for some years now, I've been working in the realms of healing and guiding and working with people to really help them drop the baggage, wake up to who they really are, and really revolutionize how they think, feel, live, create, and be who they came here to be. So that's always been my big, I guess, foundation of my mission, to really help people be all of who they came here to be. Because I know from my own experience, my own activations, that we are not here by accident. And during this crazy time of humanity's ascension and all of what we're seeing unfolding on the planet right now, we really did come in at a very specific, very exciting time of humanity's history to assist this shift. And so, if you're listening to this, you'll be someone also who's here in some capacity to assist this shift in some way, even if you don't fully know yet what that looks like. So, this is what my work has always been. And prior to that, it was like a previous life, it feels like now. I used to be a child protection lawyer, as many of you will know, and I shifted out of that through very, very deep transformation in my own life, through huge illness over several years. And that's kind of what led me into deep transformation within my own self, and then going on trainings and immersing myself in these ways to assist people. So I was doing that for a while. And as some of you will know, in 2021, that was when I really was on another sort of trail of breadcrumbs, let's say, and yet again, more plot twists, where I started to, really step into my conscious mission, part of my mission, to be a channel. And that's when I started channeling through very directly. Fairly spontaneously, in a very direct way, my beautiful divine team of guides, who are the high angelic realm and the Arcturian High Council, or the Arcturian Council of Light, however you wish to refer to them. And so I've been channeling then for the last, almost, this summer will be 3 years. And so the channeling part of my mission and my journey was a pretty big plot twist in itself, because I'd never planned to be a direct channeler at all. But here we are. And so I already thought that that was quite a big leap. So, as many of you will relate, there's sometimes a path to walk on our journeys of coming out of the spiritual closet. A lot of us have had that experience of feeling very spiritually connected, feeling maybe disconnected from many people who don't get that side. And, having to have the courage, I guess, to come out of the closet. That's the way I feel about that. And being very true to ourselves and starting to wear our spiritual selves very visibly and publicly. And so when I did that, the next level for me was really coming out of the galactic closet. So that's where, with my channeling, it was a really, really big thing for me to kind of, I guess, go out loud and proud as a channeler. And my guides were very clear at the beginning that I was here to do this very publicly. And which is why my guidance in the early days in 2021 was to basically just get onto my social media pages and start channeling, yes, in front of family, friends who'd known me my whole life, my work colleagues from the legal career, which was a whole different life. So I really had to come out of that closet loud and proud and, just follow my mission, follow my soul, which I did. So this is what I want to share with you now, the next plot twist in the story and an update, I guess, with my mission, which is still continuing what I was doing, but it feels like right now is such a deepening of some of the aspects I was already doing. And so, as I share with you now what's been going on, I'm really sharing it, one, to update you, so that my future messages and things I'm now going to be sharing make a lot of sense, make more sense to you, but also even just for you to think about your own mission and your own path. And, as I talk about myself, it's always to really guide you back into your own path, because a lot of you listening, you will be having your own plot twists. You will be having your own journey, and life can really surprise us, right? And you may be even listening to this, and then a year from now, you might find different aspects have dropped in for you. You might find that something I say here today activates you in some way, because the energies I channel and hold now are very activating. So I do share this from a place of, yes, I'm talking about myself, but it's really to show you something about yourself and your journey. And I'm very much here to support you on your mission and you being every bit of who you came here to be. And it relates to very much what I'm about to share, and really what's going on in this world that has been kept hidden uh, for a very, very long time. And it's now time to bring it all out into the light in the most high frequency way. So grab a drink if you like, sit back, get comfortable, enjoy this episode where I'm just going to ramble off and explain to you the recent updates. So I was going about my business, working, channeling, activating, done lots of classes and programs and client sessions. And, you know, I got that feeling again that sometimes I've had on my journey. And often it comes through just before the breakthrough or some huge significant change. I was starting to feel a little bit, I wouldn't maybe say stagnant, but not fully, because I was still loving, the work that I was doing, things that I was creating. I created High Level Channel Academy, and that was feeling really brilliant to activate people as channels and help them channel their own guides and all this amazing work. I wrote my book, writing my second book, a lot of good things. But there was something that I was feeling that felt very almost, yeah, stagnant, a little bit stuck somehow. It was like something wasn't fully dropped in. And that's always, I guess I should know now from my path, that's usually the signal that something's about to happen. So I should be used to this by now. And I was just feeling a little bit kind of like, oh, there's something else. So I started to think and feel into areas around the astral travel and the astral plane. So because I channel now and I'm so connected to my guides and very, very, familiar with all of that, I started to just feel like there was more. There's more that we don't see. I'm aware that there's so much that we don't see happening on this planet, happening in other dimensions. And I wanted to connect like deeper. Somehow I just felt like I want to go deeper somehow, somewhere. So as this often happens, when we have that intention, we start to get that reflected, right? So you'll see a video or a message or something outside of you to, bring your attention. So I started to think about um, just thinking about things like remote viewing, astral traveling, playing around in these other frequencies, going beyond the physical, the 3D physical world, which I already do with my channeling anyway. So I had an experience then one night. This was in March. It was only like probably about 6 weeks ago now. And I had an experience where I had a very I was having a few weird things happen in the dream state. And a lot of you will maybe feel like this, like you, as if something, like you're going through a lot of things when you're asleep. Almost some of us feel like we're fighting battles in our sleep, we're involved in some kind of spiritual work, or we're dreaming vividly and we're having these experiences. So I was waking up in the morning feeling like I had been through a lot, where in my waking day, I actually felt like I needed a lot more rest because clearly something was happening in the astral realm while I was asleep. And one night I had a very strange experience where I was aware that I was in my body, but I wasn't awake. I wasn't asleep. Well, I was sort of asleep, but it wasn't really asleep. And I felt this paralysis. And a lot of you know this term, sleep paralysis. So I had this experience in my body where I just couldn't move. So it was like my body was frozen. I was aware inside it. I was trying to kind of call out, and it was coming out really muffled. And it was a very scary, it didn't last that long, but it was a very scary experience of feeling very paralyzed in the body. And I was aware that I wasn't awake. So I was very much trying to wake myself up. And I was aware of an energy next to me that did not feel that it was very for humanity or working from the light in any way. It felt very dark, very heavy. And so it was a lot of fear in the body, and I didn't like that. So I was trying to wake up, willing myself. So eventually I opened my eyes and I found myself in the exact same position in my bed, in my bedroom, only I was awake now. And the energy that I felt in my body was so horrible and thick and heavy and dark. And it was a horrible energy that I had just connected into, and very scary as well. That kind of sleep paralysis never feels, even if you know what it is, it just doesn't feel particularly pleasant. So I just sat with that, put all the lights on, you know, um, didn't like that initial feeling, but then I sat with it, and I realized, okay, well, I had set the intention to find out more about the astral and other dimensions, and every time I set my intention, I will typically have an experience that comes in and shows me. And the reason for that is because I'm very much here to guide others. So of course I'm going to have my own experiences, right? So I can come back and share it to others, teach others, and just spread that here on the planet. So I was thinking, okay, I set my intention. Clearly, I wanted to have an experience. So what dropped in then? Probably like higher self guidance. It felt like, and I got the nudge to look into this astral projection class. It suddenly came into my mind from nowhere, and it was an astral projection class that I had seen probably well over a year ago, um, and it was a lady that I just happened to connect over with on Facebook, and I'd seen this class last year sometime, but I was really interested, but just wasn't the right time. I didn't feel inclined to step into it. And all of a sudden I had this real nudge, must do this class. So I signed up for her masterclass, sat, immersed myself in that, learnt a lot on that class about, well, when you say learn, sometimes it feels like you're starting to remember stuff you already knew. It was kind of like that. But call it learning for the sake of this understanding. So I was learning, remembering, and we were going into kind of frequencies, different dimensions. The fact basically that when we go to sleep, as we all often know, our souls move out of the body, still connected to the body, but our souls go and travel all over the place. It's unlimited, because our physical bodies are asleep. Our souls do not need the sleep and the rest. So it makes sense that our souls will just continue traveling all around the universe in whichever dimension, frequency it feels like, having all sorts of experiences depending on your mission and your connectedness and who you are and what you're doing. So we have these experiences. So I was learning all about this, and I was also learning about, of course, when you go into other frequencies, what will happen is you'll start to be able to see and sense things that are not in the physical. So if you think about the astral plane, which is that realm that is outside of the physical, what we see in our day to day lives, of course, then you're going to see wonderful things, beautiful beings, potentially, your loved ones. You can have communications with people, uh, beautiful, wonderful, magical things. But of course, because it contains everything, we can also connect into other beings and other energies that are very dark, very heavy, and definitely not here, infused with light. So this is why a lot of people get afraid, and this is why a lot of people kind of want to stay out of all of that, because they don't understand and they're in fear. And because they don't understand and have the knowledge, it keeps them limited, because then you have humans that are just believing that they are merely physical, and the only thing that's true about their reality is what they see in their waking hours. And of course, that is not the case, right? And if you're connected with me through anything I do at the Awake Revolution, you're going to have an expansive mind, and you're going to be open to everything I'm basically sharing here. So, start to delve into this area, and it's obvious that there are lots of beings that exist. So I had that, I held that, and I know from my own personal experiences that there are very, very, very dark energies present on this planet. They do mess with us, and they do, yeah, they can come in various ways, and we can be very impacted by them. And I had some very, very deep, profound, scary, interesting experiences on two occasions in my life, 2011 and 2016. So I was already familiar that this stuff is real. Like, I don't need convincing. I know about that side of things, but I just had those experiences and then moved on with my life. So I had this knowledge, and I was just remembering and tapping into this energy. And then, of course, how synchronicity is. The woman who I did the masterclass with, I saw her page pop up on my Facebook, and then she happened to share a Zoom of a couple of people just talking to each other about AI and the jabs and what's going on the planet right now, and all of that kind of interesting discussion around these areas. So immediately, and you might feel this sometimes, you just immediately know you're supposed to watch this or lean into this. You're getting the right message at the right time. So I immediately thought, I need to watch this. Like, it was about like an hour and a half or something conversation, and I had tuned out of all videos and updates for the last couple of years, because I just stayed out of it. I thought, I'll just channel through everything I need to know about humanity and what's going on, and I don't really need to follow anything out there. So this video really called to me, and I knew that there was something here that I needed to see. So I sat down, watched the whole thing, and I'll just cut this very short for you to get the info across to you right now. But it was all around the fact that there are energies attached to our bodies and our energy fields that are not for our highest good, and they're coming in through different means. And sometimes there's substances in the body that bring them in. Often it's traumas, it's various things going on in our lives, things we haven't cleaned up. And often it's just because we don't know that they're there. We haven't learnt to strengthen our energy field. So it's like we're just walking around with all our doors wide open, not very good security, right? So I was tuning into all of this, and then I recognized immediately that this woman was talking about all of these things that I was supposed to get on and train in this area. And of course, she offered a training course, a program. Was around hypnosis, and because I'm a qualified hypnotherapist, partly how I work with people over the last decade now. It immediately drew me in. So I ended up then, literally the next day, never heard of this woman before. Suddenly I've signed up to her training, and then I've immersed myself in all of the training. There's loads of videos and trainings and things, and suddenly I'm in this world then of working in the realm of clearing the energy body of all of these dark energies and attachments and spirits and things that basically shouldn't be in our energy field, that are very often present, often without our awareness. And so I kind of just had my world rocked, not because I didn't know that this stuff existed, because I already knew. I really had some frightening experiences myself, but it was more to do with, I think, the fact that I hadn't really pieced it together yet, just how much this was impacting literally every single human here on this planet, and impacting us in such a huge collective way. And then I started linking this with what my own mission was to, the Awake Revolution is here to, create a revolution of people being so awake and aware of what's going on. They're stepping into their power, they're healing, they're activating, they're connecting into, you know, divine source. And so they are unshakable, and they're here to create and do what they came here to do. So I already had that, and I knew about the healing aspect. but then I hadn't pieced it together in this way. So suddenly I was just being activated left, right, center. The cogs in my head were spinning. I was like blown away. I just dropped everything else that I was doing apart from my, client work, and I just went all in on hours and hours of training, studying. I obviously was, because I'm a channeler, I was speaking to my team. They were filling me in with the gaps. They were giving me their own sorts of trainings and updates and reminders about what's going on. So I was collecting all of this knowledge in a very short space of time. That's just how I work, though. So I tend to go all in when I study on anything, and I learn it very, very quickly. And so suddenly I'm in this kind of awareness that, my goodness, this is so much bigger than I realized. And then I started to track and piece together, because I'd worked with so many clients over the years. We're talking about a decade now, like 11 years I've actually been working. Obviously, the first couple of years were kind of practicing and learning and training, but really it's been 11 years where I've been sitting in sessions with people. And I did a lot of work in the area of recovery, helping people with their energy, helping people on their mission, helping people get unstuck and move forwards and connect in, activate their spiritual abilities, loads of different things I've done with people, release trauma. I've done a lot of trauma work with people, real variety. And there was always this sort of overview of why some people seem to just could have like one or two sessions and be really, really ready to move forwards. And then there were some other people that I worked with that just seemed to be so stuck. And they also mirrored parts of what I'd been feeling. Like, there were areas in my life that I always felt like, why is this such a struggle? Like, there are sometimes we have those areas, certain areas. For some people, it can be their confidence, or it could be their money, or it could be their relationships, or their purpose, or some aspect of something in their lives that is such a repetitive thing. And no matter what the hell they do or try and do, or healings that they throw at it, there's this complete stuckness. Something won't shift. And that was always something that was always baffling me. And in the last year, as I was more deepening my work with people who are here on a mission. So my clients sort of shifted in the last 2 years, let's say, my clients started shifting more into people now who are very much like me, here on their missions, wanting to make a difference in the world somehow with who they're being, and knowing and feeling that they're here for a reason, and they're not here to follow the mainstream, and they're not here to fit into these structures that are already here. So my clients were very much those types of people in the last 2 years. And then I really started to see, it was almost like the more light that someone had, the more wisdom and the more connectedness that they had. It seemed to me like, why were those people struggling more than maybe people that were even less conscious? It was really strange. So as I was starting to do this training, and I started to learn about how the energy field really opens ourselves up to different energies that come in through the chakra, attaching to the chakras in our body, and you know energies such as all the things that we've been taught that don't exist, or all the things that we've been taught just to be so afraid of, things like even the words. And as I say these words, just tune in and see how it feels. Do you get fear or tension when I say it? But hopefully you'll feel the higher energies as I'm sharing. But things like dark attachments and entities, and dark entities that attach to the energy field. Often it's earthbound spirits, a spirit that just hasn't passed on. They've hovered around. A lot of them are in fear, trapped in their own fear and anxiety and pain. And, they just got lost along the way and didn't kind of latched on and didn't allow themselves to move on. So all these different types of energy. And also, in the current times we're in, we've also got a lot of AI connecting into the physical body, which probably will be another, I think I'll keep that for another podcast, just to kind of get through what I want to get through today. But we've got a lot of parasites attached to the body through, so many chemicals, foods, deliberate manipulations. So we've got all these things that are in the energy field that really don't belong there. And what these do, and this is where I guess humanity has been very deceived, manipulated, is, think about, humans are walking around with so much attached to their energy fields. They have no idea that they're even present. So there they are, they're trying to heal and grow and move forward and make good choices and become conscious, and then there are still these things that they're stuck with. So as I was training, and I started to do actual sessions with people and really get the practical experience, started to see how these energies were very much impacting our path. And so it was a real because I really spot patterns. I'm very good at, it's in my human design as well, that I can see patterns very, very clearly. And so I started to see the link between those people on a mission and then struggling with things like finances, purpose, confidence, feeling safe in their body, being able to receive, um, having clarity, being able to think clearly, knowing their next steps, connecting in. Some people just not able to connect into their guides or their higher self. They have difficulty meditating, all of these things, so many other things, uh, is because they have these energy attachments in some part of their body, and often in multiple parts of the body, in different chakra systems and chakra points. So it was about really realizing the extent of this, and how actually, unless you've had very specific clearings on this, very deep clearings, pretty much every human will be impacted in some way. Because unless you've moved through your life without any kind of trauma or upset or shock or emotional upheaval in any way, and unless you've had that, you're going to have had something pop into your energy field. And think there's not many exceptions to that. So it was about really seeing this, and then really just making all the links. So suddenly I was like, oh my God, my mission was activated in another way. I realized this is a huge piece now that I'm going to be bringing into my work. And so the first thing I did was bring it into my channeling academy. So just to give you an example of how this would look, I opened High Level Channel Academy last year, and it was all about bringing people into this academy. I was doing one-to-one activations with them to help open their crown and the various parts of them to connect in, because all of us can channel and connect. That's just, all of us can do that. It's just about clearing and opening that part of us. And so I was helping them do that, and people were connecting, but there was still this kind of element of, they weren't getting a full connection. Like they weren't able to fully trust it, and there were some blips and bumps getting in the way. So the first thing I've done now is bring these clearing sessions, which I'll explain in a minute, into my channeling academy, so that they can then clear their systems of all these energies, attachments, spirits, substances, devices, AI, all the stuff that shouldn't be in the energy body or the physical body, clear their systems. So then, of course, they can automatically connect clearer, and it's going to be a lot easier for them. So then I thought, this is the energy and this is the work I'm going to be bringing in now on a bigger scale, because it's not just those who channel, it is humans that need this. It is widespread. We all need this. So how these sessions work then? So I was doing the training, and it's called Soul Center Healing Hypnosis, SCHH. And these what I love about these sessions is they're kind of like 3.5-hour sessions, nice long sessions, which don't feel like that, by the way. We do a beautiful in-depth clearing, really powerful. It is the most powerful thing I've ever done with anyone. And I've done a lot of powerful things with people. This is on another level. And we're clearing the energy body and the physical body of all of the energies, attachments, things that do not belong, and moving them out of the field, rebuilding the chakras, and then sealing the aura up, which is very, very important, so that nothing else can get in. So you can go about the world and you are very, very protected. So we're doing that. But then the next part of the session, which is absolutely what I love as well, because I used to do, or I was doing previously, I have been doing past life regression with people. That's a huge area of what I love to do. Off the back of these clearings, we then go into the quantum travel piece, which is then under hypnosis. Same as the clearing is under hypnosis. We're then going to take people into either a past life, current life, however you want to call it, some other lifetime or timeline, because sometimes it can be a future timeline, which is very interesting, or a galactic life, or some part of your multidimensional self. We can go into that lifetime, have that experience, very, very powerful. And then from there, we can call in the higher self, connect you into your higher self, and then ask a whole bunch of questions. And then you get the most incredible insights and wisdom for yourself and your mission. And it is, as a whole package, it is the most incredible, incredible thing. So that's what was like the whole plot twist in my mission. I'm bringing this in now. So I guess this podcast is to bridge what I was doing with where I'm now going to go. Because some of you are going to, especially if those of you who see my social media posts, you will, you might feel and see and sense a different, maybe focus with my messaging. And I just wanted to come on here and record this so it makes sense. It makes sense, especially those of you who've taken an interest in my work and you've been connected with me for some years now. So this is what we're doing in these sessions, and they are so powerful. And one of the things that was very interesting to me, because there are many spiritual circles and communities that are, we talk about all these different things. I haven't really been connected into many of those for quite a few years now, because quite a few years back, I didn't ever feel like I was fully fitting in, because there were certain aspects of some of the teachings that were very resonant. And then there was a lot of things being peppered in that I could see were distortions. They were, in some cases, manipulating people. They weren't quite true. They were really misdirecting people. So I came out of all of those spiritual circles. So I'm not very clued up with what people kind of do in these areas anymore. But it came to my attention recently through some of my newer connections, where, and it kind of surprised me, but it didn't fully surprise me, where there is apparently a lot of talk in spiritual circles where even some of the well-known ones, who some of which I've really enjoyed following over the years, who actually deny the existence of dark energies. And there's a lot of teaching I've come to realize that says they don't exist. And if you focus on them, you can start to create this energy, and you're only then creating it and attracting it to you because you're focused on it. And what I know, and as soon as I heard that, I knew that was not accurate at all. But what I now know, and I can absolutely say with conviction from my own experiences and my all the sessions I've now been doing and the trainings I've been doing, is that that is absolutely not the case. These energies and entities and attachments and things, they exist in the physical and the energy body, whether or not we know that they're there. So this has got nothing to do, and this is the deception. This has got nothing to do with, oh, you're focusing on the negative, so you're creating this energy. Of course, if we focus on the negative and keep focusing, we will be creating certain experiences in our lives, because that's how frequency works. With these dark energies and attachments, it is not so. They can be very much present even if you are the most positive person in the world, because what happens is that they get through. Initially they attach because we've gone through some kind of trauma, emotional upset. I mean, I can't really think of many humans that have not experienced that to some level in their lives, right? We've all had pain. We've lost someone that we've loved. We've had a heartbreak. We've had trauma. We've gone through some experience, right? And I'm sure as you're listening to this, you can reel off your own stuff. You know that you've been through stuff already, no matter how old you are, no matter what your age is. And so we've all gone through things. So what happens is when we do that, we start to like the chakra points, the energy points start to get heavy, and they can even start having, some of them could be shattered, because a lot of us have gone through a lot of trauma. Typically, if you're a light worker and you're here to bring light in, you will have experienced some suffering at some point. So our energy body starts to weaken in that way. And that's why these entities and attachments can easily be magnetized in. It's not because you're focused on the energies, it's because you have had certain experiences, and these energies have attracted these other darker entities, because they can come in there quite easily, and they love to come in there because then they can siphon your light and take away your energy, physical energy, as well as your light, and start to create havoc, confuse you and misdirect you, and cause you to have these hang-ups that cause you to have anxiety and fear that aren't even yours, by the way. So they attach in that way. So you can see then that it's not about because you've been thinking about them, they come in anyway. So that's a very deceptive thing when you think about it. And what that does is it teaches people to look away, and it teaches people to focus on the light only. And then the whole time you're focusing on the light, you've got these things in your energy field causing you problems. I'm going to share in a minute just a couple of things that I've had cleared from my own system in the last month, so you can, you kind of have a concrete example. So they're creating problems in yourself anyway. It's not because you focused on them. So that is a real, real deception. And I think that's one that really needs to be cleared up. Because that's how they've come in. They've come in through the traumas. And this is why, another interesting thing I've noticed with people who tend to come to me at this point, they've maybe healed from the trauma. So let's say you went through, you can think about your previous part of your life here. Maybe you've gone through really big things. Like, I can relate to that. I wrote a book on my experiences, right? So a lot of that in the book, I've definitely healed from. I'm not triggered by it anymore. Um, I'm not emotional about it. I wrote my book, and it felt good to write that book. It wasn't triggering or upsetting for me to write my experiences because I'd really processed them. But just because we've processed the trauma, if we haven't cleared that energy that was a that came in with the trauma, you can see how you can have a lot of people who are positive and happy, and they're wondering, but why am I still stuck? Like that question I get, why am I still stuck? Why? A lot of people say, why am I only taking one step forward and two steps back? Why can I just not get lift off in this area, right? Whatever the area is. Why can't I just work this out, get clarity? I'm confused 5 years on. I'm still working on this thing, whatever your flavor is. That's why, because you might have cleared the trauma, but these attachments that have come into your body, and they've connected in now to other places, right? Because they love to do that, and they work as a network a lot of the times. They've come in, and we need to clear them. The whole time we're being taught love and light only. Don't look at the dark, pretend that it doesn't exist. How convenient. How convenient, because it means that they get a bigger grip on us. So what's happening, and I feel like this is such a big part of my mission, because if you connected with me in 2020 and 2021, you will have known that I was very outspoken at the time. A little bit less over the last couple of years because we're in a different sort of space now. But back then I was very outspoken. It's part of my mission to really say the things, be very direct, and show people this is what's happening, even if it's, maybe not welcomed by everyone. So this is the next part of what I'll be doing, is really talking about this, not with any kind of fear or darkness or heaviness. And I hopefully from this podcast you can feel the high frequencies, you can feel the light from what I'm saying through my words. But it's to really educate people and show them, remind them, actually, there's some stuff going on here that will need your attention. Because if we're here on our missions and we're all dedicated and devoted to healing, ascending, being in the highest vibration and frequency that we cannot ignore these parts. We have to look at these parts. And one of the things that we've been, deceived with is to be told that these things don't exist, or you've just attracted them because you're negative. No, no. And what I'm seeing is the more light someone has, the more stuff will be attaching, because the other thing that's come through these sessions is these energies, entities, attachments, they do not want us shining our light. It is a direct threat. Of course it is. We are a direct threat to their agendas and the mission, right? The thing that they're trying to do. So that's okay. It's all fine. We're all here playing a role. But we are here to really turn our lights up. So when we do these clearings and really understand what's going on, it allows us to turn our light all the way up, connect into the planet, feel very, very safe and grounded here. A lot of people can't be in their bodies because there's too much stuff in there. Connecting into your body, connecting into the planet, connecting up into source, then you are fully connected and protected. You are going to get intuitive wisdom drop in. Everything will become clearer. You will feel more on track. It is an incredible feeling to have. So that's what I wanted to share with my plot twists and updates. My mission has taken a whole new level. And just to give you an example, so as I was training, as part of my training, I of course have to receive my own sessions, because it's no good me trying to clear you guys if I'm not clear myself, right? So I've had a series of sessions to clear my own system, to make sure there's nothing in my system that shouldn't be there, that's sabotaging me, particularly as I'm a channel. I wanted to make sure as well that I'm not channeling through any false light, anything that's deceptive. Fortunately, my connection was very strong, so everything I've been channeling for the last 3 years has been absolutely pure. Connection with my divine team, which I was very very relieved about, because I was a little bit worried about what if I was channeling something I shouldn't be, but all that's clear. But just to give you an example, in one of my sessions, I had a few things clearing. One of my sessions, I had an AI device removed from my throat chakra, and that had been placed there to keep my volume turned down. I was still very outspoken over the last few years, but I almost felt like I had to keep clearing my throat. There was definitely something stuck there. And interestingly, I always felt that as I was sharing things, I was very consistent with my messages and sharing things online, but there had been such a stagnancy in my growth. And that was always a bit of a bugbear of mine. It was always like, why do my platforms just don't grow? They're just the same amount of people. And I love all of you who are connected with me, but it was like, why are there not new people coming into my world when I know I'm here to speak and share and share my messages, and I'm very consistent, and what I share is valuable stuff. What is that? So funny enough, when I got this AI and some other dark energies that had just been trying to misdirect me and turn my volume down. It was all about turning my volume down. Why? Because they were just trying to take me off my mission. Because the messages that were coming through in my hypnosis was that I'm here to really activate people. And if I am in my power, I'm going to activate a lot of people, and they don't want that. So they were deliberately trying to sabotage me in that way. And the funny thing is, when I had this wonderful clearing, my Facebook page, which I post on there, but it isn't my main place, because my main place really is my Facebook profile, which has always had more traction. My business page, which has probably a different algorithm, was something like 776 followers on there, but I opened this page like back in 2015. So I've been going at this for a while, right? And this page never grew. It grew so painfully slow. So I just forgot, didn't even worry about it. I just thought that's the page. When I had this clearing done, all of a sudden, a reel that I shared like 3 months ago suddenly gained traction, had thousands and thousands and thousands of views. And then suddenly, in the space of 5 days, I got over, I wrote it down, I can't remember the exact number, but it was over 2,000, yeah, it was about just under 2,000 new followers. Probably a little bit, probably like 1,900 or something like that. 1,900 new followers in 5 days. And I was like, what? That is crazy. And I knew immediately, I was like, that's because something shifted and the thing that was blocking has now been cleared. So, just to give you an example of clearing something in the energy body has a tangible effect. It was just blew my mind, because I know that was to do with the clearing, because that page had never, and I'm talking about, I went through a phase of doing daily live streams and really like posting on there and working that page, and that page was like had this stuckness, right? So I know that was a huge thing. And the other thing I noticed was my throat just got clearer. My voice has felt stronger. um what I'm saying, it feels like it comes out now just more directly. My voice doesn't run out of steam like maybe I would have done a podcast like this, and I would have started to feel like, oh, my voice and throat is tired. I don't feel that fatigue in my throat right now. I won't, but I could happily talk to you for another 3 hours. I could keep going. So I could feel my throat stronger just from that being removed. And then the other thing, just to give an example, it was stuff like removing energies from my hands that had blocked my receiving. So I'd still received over the years, but not at the capacity that I'm actually here to receive, because I'm supposed to receive resources, of course, for my mission, because I have a lot of things I want to build to assist humanity, and it requires money, resources, all of these things. So I literally had sort of blocks placed into my energy in those ways to turn down my receiving, and loads of other things. So it was so fascinating to have my own clearings. I'm doing these on other people, and I'm seeing the results, and it's wow. It is such a wow area. So stay tuned. There will be more coming. Definitely, I'll be talking about this so much, but I wanted to just get on here and share this episode to, I guess, to bridge, like I said, to bridge, like, why is she all of a sudden talking about this? So here's the story around it. This is what's been going on. And I have never felt lighter, brighter, more on track, more in a high frequency, in a consistent way. And that's the other thing I want to share, actually, as we wrap this up. Before, I was feeling like I could access a high frequency, feel really good, because when I channel, it's an incredible feeling. But it was always followed by I'd have to kind of dip back down again, and I couldn't hold it for that long. But now I've had these kind of energies removed, and I'm very clear now, very, very clear in my body and in my energy field. What I'm finding, which is what I want for everyone, uh, I'm finding that I can hold this higher frequency a lot now. Like, I'm not really dipping out of it. I might have a little bit of a shift, you know. Remember, we're in the human physical world. If I go outside and it's a bit of a dodgy energy, or there's some people that maybe have some heavy energies, I'll feel it a little bit. But you know what I've noticed? It doesn't drop my frequency to any significant level, and I can just notice it and shake it off. And I can find that my body is holding a higher frequency. And the reason that my guides were explaining to me was that when you release these energetic attachments from the physical body and the energy body, basically you've made space, which makes sense. So more light can take up room in your body. So then it becomes a lot easier to hold this higher frequency, which is what we all want, right? Because we're on the ascension path. And then, of course, we're going to be able to connect in to our higher self, because the higher self can drop in now. There's a lot more room. There's all this room now. It's not being taken up by these dark energies and attachments. So I feel now, just to give you, an idea of what you can feel, I can feel now this sense of my higher self really being present. And I feel like it's not me looking up to my higher self for guidance. I'm really starting to feel now that I am embodying my higher self. So I'm in more of my higher self. And it's such an amazing feeling, and natural. I want to say this is how we're supposed to be. This is how we're supposed to be able to connect in these physical bodies. So much more to say. I think that's enough for one episode. I was trying to keep it to 30 minutes, but wasn't possible. So I'm going to wrap up here. I will definitely be back with another episode very soon, because I want to talk about, I guess I want to talk about a little bit more about the AI side of things, because it's very interesting when it comes to what the AI is doing in our systems. And that is probably the new piece for this era that we're in, because a lot of what I'm talking about, we've been doing it over many, many eras. We've always had healers and people who have helped us remove these energies, attachments, even black magic, curses, bad intentions from people, cords of attachment, all those things. This is what includes all of this as well. We've always had people doing that. What is new in our world right now is this AI piece that is also having an impact on our body. It isn't just AI. We're thinking of AI as taking over our jobs and things. There's a whole other level to that with the energy body. So I think that's what I'll share that in the next episode. I think that kind of deserves a whole talk around that. So there we are. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you for listening. And I want to let you know as well that I've opened up. I'm finishing now as I'm recording this. By the end of April, I'm continuing my training, and I'm doing my practical sessions. So I get my certification properly, training in this area, in this hypnosis modality. So I'm doing a lot of sessions as my training. I'm going to be opening up bookings for you to be able to book a session with me, probably to start, I'd say, at the end of May. I think I'm be ready to go at the end of May for sessions. So I'm going to drop the link. Yeah, so wherever you're listening to this, go into the description of this video. This audio, and I'll drop a link there for the waitlist, because I'm putting together, if you would like to be the first to know when these sessions, I'm going to open them fairly soon to book. I'm going to open up a waitlist and let you know, so that you can have a very special pre-pricing, pre-launch pricing, sorry, for these sessions. So you can book early, be one of the first to get onto these bookings at a very special price, just for the first kind of batch of sessions I'm going to be doing before they go into the full price. So yeah, if you're interested, I'll leave the link there. Just add your name there, and then you'll be notified of when I'm opening sessions. If you're listening to this podcast sometime after probably May or June 2024, if you're coming to this episode later, you can just find the link there, and the sessions will be available. You can just book. But if you're listening to this around the time I'm recording, jump on the waiting list if you're interested, because I'll give you some more information on the sessions themselves, and you can have really great special pre-launch pricing on it, because I really want to get the momentum going on these sessions and help as many as possible. They're incredible. And stay tuned as well, because on my YouTube channel, so if you're not subscribed there, just go to the Awake Revolution YouTube channel, and I'm going to start to do more content on there, but I'm going to actually start to clip and share some segments of sessions, these hypnosis sessions, especially some of the messages that are coming through under hypnosis for humanity. There's some seriously amazing things that have to be shared. They are so juicy and expansive. So yeah, do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already over there, because if you're into learning and just receiving the most amazing energies, yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more on the YouTube channel. Yeah, which is very exciting. So thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I'm very excited to be on this part of the mission, on this path. It feels like I was always being led to this. It makes sense when I look back at my earlier experiences as well. It's like I've been training for this for actually quite a long time. It makes a lot of sense now. So on that note, just for you to tune into your own journey, notice the clues. There are a lot of clues along our journey for things that we're interested in. Maybe they don't make kind of sense at the beginning. Just be open. Notice the clues, notice what you're guided, have a little look back over your journey, and just allow yourself to be guided. And if you want to, set the intention. I'm ready for the next part of my mission to come through. Don't forget the power of intention. If you intend something, it is done. It will start rearranging around you, and you'll start to get just the right video, just the right message, snippet of information that will help you on your journey. Remember, you've got guides continuously assisting you. We've got higher dimensional beings and angels continuously assisting us. So as soon as we set the intention, they'll be saying, okay, they're ready to go. Let's give them this piece. So set your intention if you want to. If you're ready for the next part of your mission, you're ready to go deeper on your path in some way, whatever it is that you're wanting, set the intention, and things will find you. Right opportunities, whatever will find you, you'll be led to it. So I'm very excited to be here on this part of my mission. So I'll love you and leave you for this episode. I wish you so much love and a sprinkling of magic on your journey wherever you are right now. So stay tuned. I have a lot of very interesting stuff to talk about and share with you. It is fascinating. Yeah, and this is very important part of our ascension, right? Very much part of our growth here. So I will speak to you very soon. And until then, take care, and I'll see you and speak to you in the next episode.